Welcome to Creating Community Television. Thanks for joining us today. I'm your host, Stephanie Porcellato. This is our second live conversation in a series where you can learn about various aspects of creating community television. Today, we'll discuss the benefits of volunteering with your local station and how to get started. So first, I want to introduce today's guest, Lizzy Symons, producer with Shaw Spotlight in Winnipeg, Manitoba. Thank you for joining us today, Lizzy.
Thank you so much for having me.
If anyone has questions for Lizzy, please throw those into the live chat. We'll discuss those. We can get to answering those after our discussion. So to kick things off, we will start with an easy question. What is Shaw Spotlight?
So Shaw Spotlight is a community access channel that airs content made by the community for the community. Access meaning exactly what it sounds like. We provide access to the general public to broadcast equipment and airtime.
Awesome. And what's your role at Shaw Spotlight?
I am a producer. So what that means is I research community interest stories, in and around Winnipeg and some of our smaller areas around the city as well. I connect with people, I film with them in their element, whatever they're doing in the community. And then I create these stories around these people that air both online and on our TV. And one of the most important things I also do is volunteer training.
Awesome. And for volunteer training, what opportunities are available with Shaw Spotlight?
There's so many opportunities. So every market has their own channel that has community access channels airing already. So you can get involved in shows that are already airing on your local Shaw Spotlight channel. We producers also use people for our productions. If I'm out on a shoot and I need a second camera, for example, extra audio equipment, boom mic, you name it, we'll go to our pool of volunteers and ask for assistance that way. And we also do live events for sports or things that are happening. For example, we have here in Winnipeg, the Manitowoc Festival is coming up soon. So we're looking at covering as much of that as possible. And that's one of those things where it's a huge thing. We need as many hands on deck as possible. So there's so many different things that you can get involved with as a volunteer.
What would you say the benefits of volunteering are?
Well, one of the big ones is gaining experience in TV production. So you can learn so many different things if you don't know anything about TV production or camera work, etc. But also, if you already know some or a lot of stuff, it's just an opportunity to get out there and get more experience and sharpen those skills. You also get hands on experience with broadcast standard equipment, and you get to meet new people. And really, one of the biggest things is you get to work as part of a team that at the end of the day is supporting your community, which is really at the end of the day what we are here to do.
And what types of training does Shaw Spotlight offer?
Yeah, so I've already kind of touched on a few of them. Anything to do with video production, so hosting, camera, lighting, audio, studio, switcher. There's so many different things that we can cover with you guys, and we don't have a stringent schedule that these are the courses that we do and you have to be part of all of them. This is what you want to do. So if, say, for instance, you're more of a behind the scenes kind of person, you're not too jazzed about being in front of the camera and hosting, you don't have to be part of the things that you're not comfortable with. We teach you all the stuff that you want to learn and want to be a part of.
So kind of a range. There's something for
Yeah,
everybody who's interested.
yeah, exactly. There's so many different things to dip your toes into here. Yeah.
Awesome. And is any experience required?
There is not. We have all sorts of volunteers here that come in all forms. We have students, retirees, somebody who's just looking for a new hobby, learning something new. No experience is required, but we're also not going to turn away somebody who already knows some stuff because at the end of the day, there's always something new to learn. And if nothing else, it just gives you extra experience.
Cool. And what about cost?
There is no cost whatsoever.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And For high school students, can volunteer hours count towards any community involvement requirements?
Absolutely, yeah. Again, this is volunteering, so it does count towards that. And we also do work placements for uh, internships, sorry, for college work placements if that's something you need to do as well.
So, if someone wants to become a volunteer, what's the process and how would they prepare themselves for that?
I think the first thing I would encourage people to do is to reach out to your local producer. And that can be as easy as messaging us on Facebook or our social medias, and we'll just get you in contact with the right person in your area. You can also head to our website, shawspotlight.ca. There's a contact us page that has a list of all of our different markets that will send you an email that you can send an email, pardon me, to the Shaw Spotlight in your area. We also on our website have a Get Involved page, which does have a form for volunteers to sign up for if they're interested, and a couple extra things with a bit more detail on volunteering with us.
Perfect. Yeah, shawspotlight.ca. Awesome. Can volunteering help me gain experience for college, university, or a broadcast career?
It absolutely can. Many of my colleagues actually started out as volunteers themselves and are now producers working with Shaw Spotlight. A lot of people who are hiring in this industry want a demo reel. They want to see exactly what you can do. And this is one of the ways that you can not only learn extra skills that you wouldn't necessarily be able to do on your own or just going through YouTube videos, you actually get something tangible that you can show people this is what I'm capable of, which goes a long way in this industry.
For sure. Yeah. Cool. And is there a particular volunteer experience that you have that stands out?
We did have one just recently, actually. Here in Winnipeg, we have a show called Darcy's Archive. It's a pet adoption show with one of our local animal shelters called Darcy's Ark. So we have a volunteer there that's putting on this half-hour show, and one of the segments that was done recently was on a dog who had eye surgery. His eyelids were folding over so he couldn't see, so he needed surgery to be able to see. And they got a call a few days after this segment aired from somebody who saw it and specifically thought, I need to do something about this. So they called and said, I saw this dog on Shaw Spotlight on your show. I want to pay for this dog's surgery. So that's just one of the amazing things that we can do as community TV, bringing people together and really having an effect on different organizations that are a part of all of our lives here.
Making a difference. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's super
exactly.
cool. It must feel so good. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
that's the thing,
Uh,
making the difference.
yeah, yeah, for sure. What advice do you have for someone who's interested in creating content or volunteering?
Just go for it. Don't be afraid. There's going to be, it's one of those things that camera and TV production, just everything that we do here is best learned by doing. So just come out. There's no strings attached, as we talked about earlier. It's just, and at the end of the day, it's just fun. It's a really cool industry. It's a lot of fun to do. There's so many different things to learn. So yeah, just go for it and have fun with it.
Go for it. Awesome. Is there anything else before that you'd like to add before we jump into questions that maybe we didn't touch on?
I'm sure there is something, but I mean, I've talked a few times about we do broadcast standard equipment is what we train on, but we also realize that a lot of people who are making shows now aren't necessarily wanting to use that. They want to start using their cell phones. So we also, keep that in mind if people want to learn how best to frame a shot or how to work a phone on a gimbal. Like there are so many different things again that we can help with and train with. So again, just reach out to us on social media or email us and find out about all you can learn from us.
Yeah, you might not think, yeah, with us working in broadcast TV that we'd help with cell phones or the equipment that you already have. So that's cool that there's such a range of training and things we can help you with.
Exactly. Again, we're Access TV. We're trying to be as accessible to the general public as possible, and that's just one of those facets to it.
Exactly. All right. So it's time to answer some questions from the chat. We might not be able to get to all of them, so if we missed yours, we'll just answer you in the chat. So let's see what we've got here. There we go. That's the first question here. So Sarah says, I'd love to volunteer, but I'm new and I've never used a camera before. Can I still volunteer?
Absolutely. Again, no experience required. Uh, we often hold here in Winnipeg, we hold a bunch of workshops. We'll do one-on-ones, and it's similar in every other market as well. But like there are some workshops where we'll break off into different groups, and some people are learning some more advanced stuff like some of the more advanced settings within the cameras and stuff. And there are other people that, you might just spend the whole time figuring out how to put a camera on the tripod and basic stuff like that. Like, again, we want it to be accessible for everybody. If you have no idea what a lens is, what a tripod is, what half the stuff I've been talking about is, that doesn't matter. Just come on in and we'll help you learn about it.
Awesome. Yeah. So zero experience, or if you have some, awesome. We can help you get to the next
We
level.
adjust to your needs at the end of the day. Yeah.
Perfect. Next question here. So James says, what are some of the shows that people produce on your community channel?
Oh boy, we have a lot. We have one that used to be popular was one called Cook Like a Viking, where this lady would get made up in Viking garb and cook in her backyard traditional Icelandic and Viking meals just over an open fire and tell traditional stories. We have Lusocan, which is a Portuguese show. Some of it's in English, some of it is not. So that's a big thing for their community. We have a show called You Multicultural that comes and uses our studio quite often. Transitions, lots of different talk shows, Basketball Manitoba podcast. Yeah, there's just Darcy's Archive. We have a whole bunch of different shows that we have. So the sky's the limit if you want to be involved with something like that.
Awesome. All right. Next question from Fraudy. Can I produce in a different language?
Absolutely. Like I said, we have one on our channel right now called Lusocan, where half of it's in Portuguese. So yeah, language is not one of those things that's a barrier. And Canada's multicultural, so there are so many different communities within our communities. So yeah, if you have a show idea that you want to do in a different language, that is absolutely something that could be done.
Awesome. Next up, we have Chaz. What if there's a group of us that want to volunteer? Can you accommodate for groups?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, just come out. We can even do workshops with your group of people just to, get you in and show you the ropes and get you in on projects as soon as you want to be. Like I said, we have so many different live events that happen in our communities and in our markets, sports, festivals. Like recently we had something out in BC where it was a roller derby tournament, and you need so many hands on deck for productions like that. So groups are a great thing to have coming out here.
Well, yeah, something kind of no matter what you want to do, whether it's in a different language, whether there's a bunch of you, whether it's one of you, seems like we can, yeah, help with all of it.
Yeah. Again, access.
Yes, yeah. Zoe says, what types of TV equipment do volunteers get training on and use?
So the cameras that we tend to show and tend to lend out to people who want to create their own shows are called Panasonic P2 cameras or ENG cameras, which I believe is electric news gathering cameras, if I'm remembering that correctly, something to that effect. It's the big shoulder cameras that you see news crews with. And those are the ones where you can zoom in really far. Everything is manual, so you'll learn how to white balance and focus and all that kind of stuff. that's the cameras. We have different microphones. We have a little lav mic. We have boom mics, stick mics. We have studio cameras that we can work with, and again, switchers, audio boards, different LED lights. we've got, we've got a lot of options.
For sure. Next up from Bill, I have an idea for a program. Will Shaw provide the crew if I write and host the show?
One of the great things about our volunteer program is we have a pool of people that we can call and be like, hey, there's this show that's coming out, or that somebody wants to make this show. Would you be interested in doing camera for it, doing lighting for it, doing the editing for it? And that's one of the great things about volunteering is the networking too. If you have that idea for a show, but you need somebody who knows how to do the camera work, we can connect you with those people that can help fill the holes on the projects that you want to make, for sure.
So big or small.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Next up, we have Jonathan. If I want to produce a show, but my apartment is barely big enough for me and my cat, are there spaces available where I can put on a production?
Yes, there absolutely is. There's a lot of our markets have their own studios. You would have to reach out to your local producer and see what spaces they have available to you, because it does vary market to market. But there isn't anything saying that you can't go outside and shoot something, or go again to an event. And there's so many different options again to be able to create something. And a lot of it depends on what it is you want to create. So yeah, that's something that if you reach out to your local producer, they can point you in the right direction on how to handle something like that that might be a bit more restricting for you personally.
Next up, so Ryan says, what if I already have a show and I'm posting it to YouTube? Can we air that?
Yeah, send it our way and we can air it on our channel. We always vet our content just to make sure that it's compliant before we air it. But if you're already producing a show, and that's one of our local shows here is called Witch Police Radio, and it's a podcast that talks to local bands in the city. That's something that he's been doing for, I think, a decade at this point, and he only just started coming onto our channel in the last year or so. So he has so much content that he's been giving us that was already made by him that we're airing now, and another option is we can also link your YouTube channel to our website so that you get extra shares that way. Our Facebook page is Canada wide, so we can share your content that way too, and just broaden your audience as well.
Awesome. Last question we'll take today is from Michael. How much assistance is available to someone that would like to produce a show?
That would kind of depend on what the show needs assistance with. Again, we have access to a bunch of different volunteers that can help out with a bunch of stuff. And again, it varies from market to market. Some markets are smaller and have a smaller team of people working there, and some are bigger and have more people. So again, just reach out to us. We can send you off to the right person who can give you more solid answers for something like that.
Perfect. Yeah. So reach out. If you're curious, yeah, reach out. We can probably help you. We will wrap up. Thank you so much for joining us today, Lizzy, and answering everyone's questions. Yeah, a lot of insight into everything that we do in terms of connecting with the community and getting their message out there. So we appreciate you coming on.
Thank you so much.
And as always, at the end of our chat, we would like to mention that if you are interested in getting involved in community television, whether it's volunteering or creating your own content, as we talked about today, please reach out. We would love to get what you have out there, teach you broadcast TV. So visit our website at shaw.ca. Go to the Get Involved page or the contact page to reach out to your local broadcast team directly. or message us on social media at Shaw Spotlight on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Yeah, we would love to help you out. So join us next time for our live chat in May. I will be talking to Ben Jonah about cinematic style. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.